Alright guys, I am back with my weekly manga review, and today we got all three chapters, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So I'm going to get right into it with Naruto, chapter 591, Risk. Not a lot happened here, but it turned out a lot better than I expected. So Itachi disappears. The last thing we see is Sasuke just standing there in front of Kabuto, and he's all depressed. His brother's gone now, and it left me wondering if Sasuke's just gonna snap and just murder Kabuto, which would bring back the Edo Tensei. I doubt that's gonna happen, but when I was first reading the chapter, I really thought that was what he was gonna do. I thought he was gonna snap because he lost his brother and just kill Kabuto, but then it cuts over to Madara. It's actually showing him lose his powers. It shows Kimimaro and Chiyo starting to ascend, and Dan is talking to Choji's father, and he uses some type of spirit jutsu that allows his ghost to travel distances. So he uses the last of his power to go see Tsunade, and then we see her fighting with Madara, who somehow is able to use one last attack. He's trying to use a desperation move before he disappears, and he spits these fireballs. Tsunade uses her powers to fight them off, and now she's completely out of chakra. And instead of disappearing like the rest of the corpses, Madara just goes right back into his body. And then he uses Susanoo again, and he's about to kill Tsunade, and then Dan saves her somehow. They have kind of a moment together, and he gives her some chakra, and then he disappears. And then we see Madara, and he says, all the Hokages, or all the Kages, are trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why hasn't Madara disappeared like the others? And Madara says that the problem with Edo Tensei is if you bring back a corpse who knows the seal, they can turn off control. So Madara just turns off control. So now he has an immortal body, limitless chakra, and he's in full control of himself now. And that's the last thing we see. And I was so happy about this because I was really afraid that the big fight with Madara, one of the ones we've been waiting to see, was just going to end. He was just going to disappear without actually being beaten. But now it's like, okay, we're still going to get the big fight with Madara, and the Kages are really, really down and out right now. So I'm assuming Naruto's probably going to show up to help them. But I thought it was a great end to the chapter. I'm still a little disappointed that none of the good guys have died or taken losses in this war. But I'll have to see what happens. I really do see Anuki, the Kage for the Rock Village, dying in this fight with Madara. But we'll see what happens. Right now, no one has died. So, yeah, that's my only problem right now. But overall, I thought it was a decent chapter. Not a lot of stuff happens. Kind of more of the same. I didn't care much for the Dan stuff, but I understand why it had its place. The Madara stuff was definitely cool, though. So, on to Bleach, chapter 498, the Black Rescuer. Akon is trying to find Ichigo. He calls Urahara. Urahara tells him that Ichigo is fighting the captain of the hunting squad in Huequemundo. So Akon's freaking out. He's like, what the hell is Ichigo doing in Huequemundo? We need him here. He says that Ichigo is actually pushing the Quincy back. So somehow Ichigo is holding his own against Opie, who is a captain of the Quincy's. Urahara says the Quincy is having trouble sealing Ichigo's Bankai. And they show a little fight with Opie and Ichigo. Ichigo is just, they're not really hurting each other, but Opie can't do anything. I think he actually mentions that he can't attack a person who has a Bankai at full strength, or else he won't be strong enough to defend against Ichigo. So he's kind of at a stalemate here. Ichigo asks if the Quincy's are afraid of Bankais, and Urahara just shows up out of nowhere and takes Opie down. He says because of Ichigo fighting him, his spirit particles got all discombobulated, so Urahara was able to take down Opie. So he tells Ichigo, hurry to Soul Society. He opens a gate for him, and he throws him a telephone and says Akon will explain everything going on. on your way to Soul Society. So Ichigo is now leaving to go to Soul Society. That was the end of the chapter. I'm not a big fan of this. I cannot believe that these captains who have been alive for all this time have no idea what's going on with the Quincy's. Ichigo just shows up, and of course they can steal everyone's Bankai but his. And I'm just not a fan of that. I would rather see an opponent who can hurt Ichigo. Someone who can, you know, kick his ass a little bit before he just shows up and dominates. I mean, yeah, Opie is a captain. He's a powerful Quincy. And for Ichigo just to have no trouble with this guy at all, and then he's going to Soul Society and he's going to kick everyone's ass there, I was a little disappointed by that. Kubo could still pull off something really cool, a big surprise. There could be some great stuff here. But right now, this chapter, all the Bleach chapters have been very good. But this one, I have to say, wasn't as good as the others. It just, the whole Ichigo thing really took me back down. I was loving the Quincy's, I was loving the new personalities, the character designs. And then just with Ichigo coming, it just feels like more of the same again. And I really hope there's an awesome surprise next week. So on to One Piece chapter 672. My name is Kinnymon. Chapter opens with a random cover page, and we see that the mystery man is Virgo. New character. I actually thought it was an older Kizaru when I first saw him, but it's some guy named Virgo. He says that they didn't trust Caesar, and Monet is actually a spy for them. Law knows who he is, and the guy seems really powerful. Law actually tries to attack this man, and he pulls out some type of ass-kicking stick and turns it black with hockey, I guess, and just hits Law on the top of the head, and that's it. That's all we see. But this guy definitely looks powerful, and I think he's got a pretty cool character design. Like I said, definitely reminds me of Kizaru. So it goes back to Luffy's side, and we see that the Straw Hats, Smoker, Tashigi, they're all knocked out, completely out. The Marines are thinking it may be Conqueror's hockey. Then we go back to Sanji's side of the lake, where he jumps in the water. He's under the water. He's trying to find the torso. The lake is filling up with poison. He fights a shark for the torso. He uses Blue Walk to get out just in time. Keep in mind, he's in Nami's body still, and he's still strong enough to use Blue Walk and all his regular attacks. So he gets out just in time. Now the samurai is complete, and he says that his name is Foxfire Kinnymon, and he's fairly tall. He's about the size of Brook. They actually mention it. Brook says, "Wow, you're my height." So they end up surrounded by the slime. Zoro and Brook said we couldn't do anything against them, and they're fine with that apparently, which was an awesome panel. And Kinnymon says, "Well, how about I just burn them?" Well, we're all thinking they're going to explode. These guys don't know that they explode with fire. So he cuts them, and of course they explode, and I'm thinking, oh man, Zoro's side just got wiped out, at least for the time being. But no, it cuts back and everyone's fine. Apparently, not only can Foxfire Kinnymon burn anything, he can cut fire. He can cut explosions, apparently. So he burns through the explosion. All the Straw Hats are fine, Kinnymon's fine, and he leaves to go find his son. And all of this has now piqued Zoro's interest, who says, "I'm really interested in these samurai techniques now. I want to go help you find your son." And that was it. That was the last page. I thought that was great. Pretty good chapter. We get a new guy, Virgo. Caesar somehow has taken out all the Straw Hats, including Smoker and Tashigi, and he's tying them up so they're all captured. Zoro wants to go off with Kinnymon, who seems like a pretty cool character, and he does have a unique devil fruit also, which I'm sure we're going to see more in the future. And, you know, Sanji will hopefully get his body back very soon. So that was it. I thought this was a great chapter. As far as I know, all 3 chapters again next week, so I'm very excited about that. And that's it. That's my review of this week's chapters for Weekly Shonen Jump. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments below, and thanks for watching.